What if I told you that it's not about the goal, it's about the growth? What I mean is, what you so ardently desire that you're striving for, yes, is important, but the path from where you are to where you want to arrive sometimes can be a very long path. And what I want to say is that this path is very important because along the way from where you are now to where you want to be, you will inevitably come across problems, setbacks, obstacles, and temptations to stop along the path before you arrive. The question is, how important is the path before you arrive to your goal? So the question initially is it about the goal or is it about the growth? And I say to you that the growth is the ultimate meaning for striving toward any goal because all life is about growth. If you think about it, all life systems begin, and from that beginning, the essence of any life system in order to continue is that of growth. For if you are not continually growing, there is stagnation and deterioration. And there's no such thing as total stagnation because you're either growing or you're deteriorating. Life does not stand still. You are either moving forward or you're either moving backward because you are deteriorating. The thing is, all of us notice that as we go about in the achievement of a goal, we come across problems. So let's pause a bit and ask, what is a problem? What is your definition of a problem? This is very important because how you define problem will determine the choices that you make. If you see problem as the end, or if you see problem as that which is stopping you from moving forward, this will determine your course of action, which is usually not going to be favorable. If you see problem as an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for learning, I guarantee that your choice will be different from that person who sees problem as an end. And when you learn from something, that is the definition of growth. And every time you make the decision to learn from any problem or setback, that is the point where you begin to grow into a new person. And all pain or problem is not something that always leads to growth because the pain that allows our growth to happen is predicated on our willingness to learn from it. Let me repeat that. The pain that allows our growth to happen depends on our willingness to learn from it. So every problem, quote unquote, needs to be reframed as an opportunity to learn and therefore an opportunity to grow. The best way to convert any quote unquote problem into an opportunity for growth is to reframe this particular problem and do what I call ask yourself power questions. That is, instead of asking yourself a victim question such as, why me? Why does this always happen to me? You ask yourself power questions. What can I learn from this? What is this trying to teach me? How can I grow from experiencing this situation. These are problem-solving questions. These are power questions that lead to your growth. Back in 1923, there was a book of poetry and philosophy on various aspects and subjects of life called The Prophet, written by Khalil Gibran. This is a classical philosophical work, and on the subject of pain or problems, he says this. And a woman spoke, saying, Tell us of pain. And he said, Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding. Even as the stone of the fruit must break, that its heart may stand in the sun, so must you know pain. And could you keep your heart in wonder at the daily miracles of your life, your pain would not seem less wondrous than your joy. And you would accept the seasons of your heart, even as you have always accepted the seasons that pass over your fields. And you would watch with serenity through the winters of your life. Much of your pain is self-chosen. It is the bitter potion by which the physician within you heals your sick self. Therefore, trust the physician and drink his remedy in silence and tranquility. For his hand, though heavy and hard, is guided by the tender hand of the unseen. And the cup he brings, though it burn your lips, has been fashioned of the clay which the potter has moistened with his own sacred tears. This, I think, says it better than anything that I have ever read. So, the message that I offer to you right now is to redefine whatever it is that you thought of to be a problem. And from this point onward, see every so-called problem as an opportunity for growth and an opportunity for learning. Because a problem is never truly a problem if you learn from it and if you grow from it, which is its only purpose. This is yours truly, Charles Prosper, your consistency success coach, wishing you, as always, to remain consistent and to be successful.